Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you this beautiful Thursday. Me and Delilah are just getting our day started. I wanted to kick off all the beautiful people like Ren and everybody else that has been, sending me beautiful things. Sonia, you got to see this. This is going to piss Delilah off, but that's okay. She can go back under the thing. Look at this. Look, aw, Trump girl. It keeps her nice and warm. She's so sweet. I've got her. Anyways, it's nice to see everybody. I know it's a little early. We don't usually kick off this early, but we haven't talked about Sebastian Rogers in a little minute, and quite frankly, it's been I've been going through some interviews like the hands interviews, and I also have the whole list right there. If you guys see a beach towel behind me, that is correct. Bullhorn Betty is going to the pool. My BFF is I'm going over there to have a play date. So we've got all of the stuff here. So one of the first ones that I'm going to be doing is the hands interview. I went over the hands interview again last night. I'm not really, I didn't really watch it thoroughly the first time. It was only like a 14-minute. I wish they would release the entire interview because I feel like that was all cut up, kind of like the very first one before the whole interview was released. I'm interested in seeing that whole entire interview from that reporter as opposed to the 14 minutes. I feel like there's more there. You just don't, like, even Olivia, she was there for a little minute. She was able to get a 23-minute video cutting all their stuff together. Hey guys, it's nice to see you all this morning. Danielle, Amanda, Emily, good morning. Robin, Denise, Ginger Girl, Tammy, Rhonda, it's nice to see you all. I hope everybody is doing well this wonderful day. Getting back to that. I don't know who sent this to me. I didn't see it, but it says stay self-governed, bro. And on the back of it is twitch.tv, real self-governed bro. Right there. I don't know. I went there because I've never heard of this before. So I went there and it looks like a guy that's a gamer. So if you guys are into Twitch and like to game, maybe go over and hang out with the real self-governed bro. And I actually, it's a good big cup, and it holds my latte perfectly. So loving the cup. I got to be honest with you, loving the cup. Perfect size. It's nice to see you all. Good morning. Ginger, it's nice to see you. Tammy, Rhonda, Peg, it's nice to see you. It's me, Jen. Good morning. Miss Lee, mom of 3. Good morning. She's got a site on Etsy. If you guys would like to go over there, one of my mods can pop it in when they get into the chat this morning. But going back to Sebastian, don't forget tonight, 7 Central, 8 p.m., there is going to be a live that's going to be an exclusive interview with Joe Petito. Joe Petito is going to be on Seth Rogers' channel later today, this evening, and I hope everybody comes and joins me over there as we listen to what Joe has to say about what's been going on in his world, what's going on in the Gabby Petito Foundation, and who knows what else. I have no earthly idea. I just know he's going to be there, and be there or be square. So I know where I'm going to be this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be over on Seth Rogers' channel learning a little more about Joe. You guys don't remember, but I fought like hell for Joe Petito's daughter. And we went to the mattress for his daughter. I've never had the privilege of actually physically meeting him ever. I met her, aunts and uncles came out there when we were working and gave us hugs and things like that. But I have not had the privilege of ever meeting face to face Joseph Petito or his family. I've met, obviously, the one girl that reached out to us originally, which was the cousin of the stepmother. And she's the one that originally got us kind of moving forward in the Gabby Petito case. Their whole family lived on the east coast of Florida. We were on the west coast of Florida. They were scared. They didn't know what was going on. Nobody was talking to them, and they just wanted somebody to, basically, the cousin, the one that reached out to us, wanted information, as much boots on the ground information we could find, so they could take back to Joe and the family. And of course, we were happy to help out. We were just out there, like, kind of spectating at first. But then when we realized that Brian Laundrie, like, did a Houdini, that's when we kind of, turned up the gas, so to speak, and started going to the streets. And that's when it all started. And it was just out of pure frustration with the family, to be honest with you. And we were out there spectating, just trying to listen to law enforcement, sitting in our chairs across the street. And then when the effery started coming around, when the BS started hitting the fan, it was like, this is nuts. These parents know something. They're hiding in the house. If they're going to hide in the house and be cowards, then they're going to do it with hearing my voice, hearing the voices of the people out there demanding answers. And I truly believe to this day that when they went and picked up the car, they knew where their son was. And I think they found their son that day when they went and got the car, or around that time. I think that they saw the car, they would have went there, they found him way too quickly. They seemed to be grieving a lot during the time we were out there. We weren't noticing it, but it seemed to me when they picked up the car, they must have went out and got a mess of groceries and everything, because they never left their house for a solid month. They didn't have food ordered to their house, and I know they were eating and not starving to death, So it's nice to see you. Oh, true friends, sort of mortis. A few people are coming in. Nice to see you all. Who else is here? Big Mac Mike, B Betty fan is up in the house. It's nice to see you. Emily, grateful that Joe is willing to chat with a father to father. Yeah, and I think, I'm not sure about this, but for whatever reason, I think Joe might have been, talking to him or giving him some, fatherly advice prior to this. I have no idea. It just seems like it would fit well, father to father, though. I didn't even look at it that way. I don't know everything either, Sheila, it's nice to see you. Chaos, good morning, my love. True friends. Why did Seth remove the schedule for tonight? He didn't. He removed the first one he didn't have set up right. He had it set up through YouTube. There should be another link that because it needed to be set up in StreamYard. So the original link was removed, and then we set it up. You should go to his channel. It should be there. They have a 7. And I haven't received anything otherwise. It's just that I remember yesterday when I was talking to him, I'm like, I just want to clarify, you're going to be on StreamYard. He said yes, and I said, well, did you make sure you set it up through StreamYard, or did you set it up through YouTube? I said, because if you set it up through YouTube, it's done wrong. You won't be able to bring Joe on as a guest. And he's like, oh, he goes, maybe I did set it up wrong. I said, well, go to your StreamYard. Do you have one set up? And he's like, oh, yeah, I have one set up. And I'm like, the way he sounded, so I'm like, just take me a picture of what you got on your StreamYard. And he showed me, and I said, no, it's not set up right. I said, you're going to have to go out and delete the entire YouTube one, because they're both going to have the same thumbnail, and you're not going to know which one to delete. So you need to delete that now. And so he set it up through StreamYard. So there should be another link there. It's just the original link. You're right. It did disappear. It disappeared because of it was just set up wrong. He wasn't going to be able to bring Joe Petito on, and they were going to have a lot of technical issues. So I worked with them yesterday just to make sure that everything was right. So, well, good morning, Linda. Delilah's next to me. We're going to go have a play date. She hasn't seen her auntie and the grandkids in a while, and she always loves going over there because she's got other dogs to play with. And so I figured, it'll be good to get out. I got my bathing suit, my beach towel, and I'm ready to go. If it gets hot enough, I'm ready to go take a dip in the pool. I'm ready for for the dip. I'm ready for the dip. It's been a hot summer and I haven't been in the pool once, so it'll be nice. I'm that bee mama bear. Good morning, my love. It's nice to see you, Marla. Good morning, CA girl. Cheryl. Good morning, Crystal Pistol. Hey, honey. Gloria. It's nice to see you, Colleen. Kelly. I see the stream schedule for Seth. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's all it was. It was just one was set up wrong, and you know how that goes. You have to delete it completely out. There's no way to salvage it. So that's what happened. Hey, D's mysteries or mystery obsessed. It's nice to see you, my love. Use sunblock, Betty. At this point, my skin's so far gone. I've got basil here. We got one behind my knee. I don't even know what this is back here. I thought it was like but it's going away. I don't know what that was. I don't know if you guys remember. I had this like this cyst on the back of my head and the hairline. It was really, really painful and bad, and which is what made me decide to start growing my hair out, because I couldn't get to the hairdresser because it was painful and I didn't want chemicals on it. So it's been there for like months. I mean, it disappeared, like the actual cyst itself disappeared, but when I put the heat on, like I was following the instructions online, and it said something about heat compresses, so I was putting heat compresses on it. And the problem was it ended up bursting inside instead of outward. And so that was the concern. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're going to get sick. I didn't get sick. I didn't feel bad or anything like that, but it never quite healed right. Well, now it feels like I've been using some medicine on it, and it feels like it's healing right. So I don't know. It's been a while. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. E. It's nice to see you this morning. Good morning. Michelle, it's nice to see you. Jacqueline. So I figured I was going to do the share screen and like the laptop, but to be honest with you, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time here this morning because I've got a pretty busy day, a personal day that I'm going to be taking today. Tomorrow we'll be back on track, so I thought I'd have a cup of coffee with you. For those that are just coming in, I got this beautiful, beautiful coffee cup, and it's from a Twitch TV. What does it say? Real self-governed bro. Real self-governed bro. And so I had never heard, and I figured, I might as well go check this person out. And it looks like they're a gamer on Twitch. So I don't know how many gamers I have on this platform, but if you guys are on Twitch, maybe go over to Real Self-Governed Bro and play a couple games. They were actually live yesterday playing games. So I don't do games. I've never played, well, it's not that I don't, I just never, even when I was a kid, I never really got into the video games. I don't know why. I just never got into the video games. I mean, I'd play a little bit, like I would play Tetris, I'd play Mario Brothers. I mean, of course we had video games as kids, but I was never a gamer, so to speak, And then I tried to get into gaming like in my 20s, and I was not 20s, I guess it was like 18, 19. I was back in MySpace. Remember MySpace? And we would play games, and we would have back chats where we coordinated against people to take them out, and that was pretty engaging. I have to be honest with you. I look forward to that. Like every night that we all got together, I actually looked forward to it. So that was interesting. But then I got busy and, decided to do some other stuff. So yeah, I'm a huge gamer. Well, there you go. Go over there and become bros, buddies. There you go. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. So again, getting back to it, we have the hands interview, the hands interview. And it's, there's the hands interview right there. It's on Facebook.
Just to start, just so we have it on file, just for both your first and last names and spelling.
I wish I could, there we go. So as you can hear, it's already going. So I'm going to try to set this up so we can, like, I don't know, make this, let's see how this, up, go back to the video. There we go. Let's see if we can do this right. There we go. I want you guys to hear some of this. I know it's small. We're phone size. Apparently, YouTube is doing this thing where they like phones being used on their platforms as opposed to computers. I don't know why, but I've noticed a shift from the advertisement of your phone in the portrait mode versus the computer mode. So I don't know why. I don't know if it's just for me, or if not, if it's more for people. I don't know. Let's just talk. Let's just roll with it. Let's just roll with it.
Katie Proudfoot, Katie, Proudfoot, Proudfoot.
Chris, Chris, last name's Proudfoot.
Can you guys hear it good?
Proudfoot.
So, I mean, first, just as parents, tell me what the last, now over a week, has been like for you two.
Horrible beyond words.
Now, let me just give you the context before we continue on this realm, okay? This is 11 days after their son that they've never been separated from has disappeared. There's a few things that I do want you guys to pay attention to. That is their tone of their voice. That is the fact that 11 days, she still can't answer or spit it out fast enough about how it's been on her, and they're constantly, like I always said, they're constantly stating that he's not in trouble. I find that statement very concerning, how many times they use it. It's about as many times as they use that she went to bed at midnight. You know what I'm saying?
This is an experience that I would have never dreamed would come. Honestly, I can't put words to how hard this has been and how much it hurts not knowing where my son is, where he's at, if he's okay. Just horrible is the best thing I can say.
It's always about them, yes, Miss Lee.
What about for you?
It's rough. I mean, we're on day 11, no answers. And the horrible things that people say just keep rolling in, regardless of taking time to consider the facts and, assumptions is what they're going off of. But, for us, we sit here and we wait, and hopefully we'll get an answer, or hopefully he walks through our door.
Man, so confident.
I was going to say, how badly?
I mean, that's such a, they're so lackadaisy in their response. And it's going to, this kind of got my blood boiling a little bit, because a couple of the statements that she says later on. But, does this sound like parents that are really, they're like, oh, we sit here and just wait for him to come back home. Like, they know they're not doing anything. I don't know. It's a little frustrating.
Do you both want Sebastian to just walk through that front door to get that call?
I'd give anything. In a heartbeat, I would give anything.
There's not.
So in a heartbeat, she would give everything. Now, yes, Gigi, you're right. What's up with the hands? Because they didn't want their face on camera. Parents that are begging the world to help them find their son refuse to put their face on camera because they're showing no emotion, and they're hoping that they can sound like emotional. That's why it's so important that I really wish that this particular reporter would put the entire interview out, even if they have to just put the audio over, a still picture of their hand so we can hear the entire conversation, which I don't believe we are. Good morning, Sonia. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well this morning. You missed it. I'll have to show you again. She's wearing Trump Girl. All right, so let's get back.
It's not measurable. Let's put it that way. There's no measurable. Anybody says all it is. You've never sat in these shoes. You've never been in this situation. And I don't ever wish for people to be in this situation.
It sounds
What's
rehearsed.
Sebastian like? What's his personality like? What does he love to do?
Now, again, she doesn't give a whole lot. She says what he likes, but she never talks about doing anything that he likes to do. Or he loves to fish. We were just fishing, 2 weekends ago, and he had an enjoyable time. Or, he loves parks, but, the last time we went to the park, just last week, He really had a great time. He loves swinging on the swings. You know, anything that kind of lets us know that she's doing these things with him. And I don't think she is. Oh, sorry.
He, for the most part, is happy. He likes to laugh and joke and tell you all about everything and then some. He
Tell
loves
you about
games.
everything and then some. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to go. Oops, I just put a. Oh, well. I don't like how she's answering this.
Loves video games. He loves to play with his Legos. Even building things with me. We
Might be
build little
crazy, man.
projects here and there, but he's always a character.
Are there any like weird tendencies that he has that might be able to help people find him in this search?
I don't know how helpful to finding him, but he fidgets constantly.
How helpful it would be to find him. So she's asking for what can they find him, and she goes on things that are not going to help people find him, which I find interesting. Good morning, Sonia, Crazy Moon. Who else did I miss? Mickey Shell, Kendra. Good morning. It's nice to see you, Colleen. This is what makes me want to microchip my kid. I don't want, you know. As effed up as this sounds, and as disgusting as it sounds, who knows? I mean, that might be, I don't know. This day and age, maybe. GLB, Gina, it's nice to see you all. Good morning, Coco. It's Sweetie Pie. Looking straight into the camera when you are appealing to the public, you're missing your child. Very important. It's very important. It's not only very important, it's very important to say their name over and over again, to humanize them for anybody that could have potentially, abducted them or taken them. You know, you're not just speaking to the child, you're speaking to whomever might have been involved in this. And the most important thing that I've learned from law enforcement is to humanize the person. So it makes it more difficult for, say, the assailant to unalive the child because now they feel like they know the child. We had to learn about this child, but we had to learn about this child from Seth in other ways. We did not learn about this child or who this child was from the parents, from the ones that were in charge of his care the majority of the time, which is Chris and Katie Proudfoot.
Certainly. He loves shiny pennies, paper clips. He's always like, whenever we go to the grocery store, he always looks on the ground and looks under the register counter, and he's always looking for shiny pennies everywhere. Paper clips. He loves to bend them out of shape and play with them, fidget with them.
Good morning,
He
Tina.
loves playgrounds.
Barbosa.
I mean, we've said it before, he likes fishing and things like that, but
Cats. Boy loves cats.
he does. He loves cats.
But, did you hear that? But, he interjected, he loves cats. I think she was going to say, but we haven't gone for a really long time, or, but, I don't like the but. These people don't, this is 11 days. They haven't seen their son in 11 days. There's no hysteria. There's just calm. Just total calm. This is bizarre to me. I think this is bizarre to most people.
It's his favorite animal.
Hey, TD, Caitlin,
I don't know,
G.
he's just,
Oh, very happy. It's nice to see you.
he's a good kid.
There are no leads, nothing caught on
Morning,
video.
Unicorn.
Your son has been missing for 11 days now. How does that make you feel as parents?
I mean, I don't have words to describe how I'm
Look
feeling
at-
right now.
Didn't she have almost the same exact response to the other lady that interviewed him? You would have thought she would have gotten this question a little more solidified, but she's so worried about getting her story straight that she's not answering the most basic questions. You know, how does this make you feel? Your son hasn't been here for 11 days. Oops.
Right now, I mean,
Let's go back.
just to describe how I'm feeling.
Let me go back. Oh no, we're gonna hear it again. Sorry.
I don't know. He's a good kid.
There are no leads, nothing caught on video. Your son has been missing for 11 days now. How does that make you feel as parents?
I mean, I don't have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. I mean, every day is harder than the last. I mean, we're out, we're looking, we're trying to make sure that everyone...
We're out, we're looking. We're out, we're looking. Did we ever see them out and looking? I mean, from what we know is that all they've done so far, just FYI, all they've done so far is throw maybe $500. We don't even have receipts for that. We just heard that it's possible that they threw $500 at a billboard. I haven't seen any proof of that. I have not seen any receipts that they've proffered $500. I've got nothing. But we definitely know they have not been out searching for this child. We know that for an absolute fact. But let's listen to what other horse manure that they're going to say. Let's listen to it again.
I mean, I don't have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. I mean,
Who keeps dinging them?
Every day is harder than the last. I mean, we're out, we're looking, we're trying to make sure that everyone stays looking and doesn't let his face fall to the bottom of a feed or get covered by some other nonsense. I mean,
Going to the bottom of the feed, you mean like the mother and the stepdad not doing anything, not doing any interviews, not keeping their son out in the limelight of the public. So now it's like, oh, okay, well, we don't want to find him. We don't want people looking for him. And we do actually want him going to the bottom of the feed. That's exactly what they are working to have done. They've done absolutely nothing for their son. I mean, in the grand scheme of things. And not only that, but let's look at this. People keep saying, oh, well, they did pitch in for the billboards. They pitched in, and I heard 500. I until I see receipts, I'm going to call BS. They should have a receipt of a contribution from Chris and Katie that they can proffer to the public to prove that Chris and Katie actually did provide $500 as opposed to just saying that they're willing to provide the $500. I have not seen that. I have not seen that yet, but I'm very interested in finding that receipt to prove that Katie and Chris actually did provide $500 for it, which, again, I'm questioning. But even if they did, that was literally on March 3rd. We are literally about to cross over to August, 5 months later. And they're still relying on a $500 payment, if true, that they made in March. And they've done nothing since. And they also stated that there's a $3,500 reward for the safe return of Sebastian Rogers. And that money disappeared. And Chris's response to that was just, oh, thanks, Jen. God bless you. If you received your gifted membership, looks like Pink Butterfly, you received your gifted membership from Jen. If that's the case, please don't forget to tell her thank you. Thank you, Jen. So it is a little frustrating, to say the least, when we hear the limited amount of stuff that Katie and Chris have done. the fact that she's the one that gave birth to this child, and she is completely shut down, locked her social media down, and does not even so much as breathe a word of Sebastian, let alone his name. And not one time outside of the Chronicles of Olivia interview, and I know that that was at her request because she likes the photos. That's her kind of her thing. She loves seeing photos of the children and them growing up. But outside of the limited photos that I'm sure Olivia requested that they have or put out for him, nobody has even, they don't even show a photo. They don't even bring a photo up. Let me turn this around. They don't even bring a photo up and say, yeah, our son Sebastian, or put Sebastian next to them, or even put that sign like Olivia staged behind them. You don't ever see them doing any of that with any interviews. Heck, you don't even see them on any interviews. They're not even on the hate channels anymore, which were the channels that actually protect the bad guys in the situation. Why they flock to those channels, I have no earthly idea why they flocked to those channels, but they did flock to those channels. We all saw them. We know which channels protect the bad guys, and we know which one fight for the good ones. And we watch them literally flock to the channels that would protect bad guys like the Wells and advocate for the Wells. These are the same channels. And that, I tell you guys more than anything in the world, when I look at somebody, I look at who they go to. Just like George and Brittany. Who did they go to? They ran to the trash channels too. They weren't in it for their daughter. They were in it for the payday. And I'm sorry, I'm going to continue to say that because I also found out George requested while Nova Grace and Jen Santinello were in New Jersey, he wanted to see Nova Grace. And he went to court and demanded that Nova Grace, that he gets a chance to see her. Well, apparently his mother does not like Brittany and will not let Brittany in her house. So you know what George did? Instead of George just letting Brittany handle the kids and going and seeing his grandchild, he just opted not to see her at all. Yeah. What a great grandpa. What a... Sorry, I didn't mean to... It's just me. I'm just clapping. You can go back to bed. You know what I'm saying? And people want to say, and then she's caught stealing at the Dollar General when she comes into freaking Kingsport. What great people. What great role models. And then you got Steve SF, their PI that never gets anything right, you know, saying all this nonsense about Jen. I mean, it's a hot mess express, but I watch where these parents go. And I know whether they're good parents or bad parents because anybody with common sense would stay off those channels. Anybody that's looking for something will not. And it's very critical and important that we watch where these parents go, especially the ones we feel may be culpable. Are they going to channels that are going to protect them? Or are they going to channels that are going to find out what happened? Oh, thank you, SPED teacher. It's nice to see you. Busy mama. You received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership. Don't forget to tell SPED teacher thank you. All right, let's get back to it.
We just want our boy home.
When you walked in Monday morning and didn't see Sebastian in his room, what was your gut reaction?
My very first reaction was, oh, he got up and got breakfast. But when I realized he actually wasn't in the house, I've never experienced sheer panic.
Sheer
in the
panic.
way that I did.
Is it the sheer panic she's displaying in this interview? I mean, I'm just asking. Is it the sheer panic that she's displaying in every single one of her interviews? You know, because sheer panic sets in, but wouldn't panic still persist? Especially when the child hasn't come home? Wouldn't it get worse, not better? I'm just asking. I don't know. And it's a serious question. It's a serious question. Sonia brings up a valid point. We are trying to make it to 40,000 subs. If you guys are not currently a subscriber of the Bullhorn Betty channel, please consider giving me a subscription. Or, you know, just hit the subscribe button, set your bell to all so you get all the great content for Bullhorn Betty. And while we're here, we got almost 500 people in chat. Maybe go out there, hit that thumbs up button on this particular live. Come back in, let us know what your number is, where you're from, and what the weather's like so we can get a gauge of how the United States weather is going. I expect rain today here in Bradenton, Florida, and it's going to be hot. It's going to be hotter than the devil's butt. Oh, thank you, B. Betty. God bless you. God bless you. Let's keep going.
Basically, for every minute since that,
Good morning, Sumner.
not knowing where your child is a pain.
A pain.
That I've never known pain like this before.
She's just expressing it, isn't she?
And walk me through the events that happened, from Sunday leading up to Monday when
Thank you, Gloria.
didn't see him that morning.
Sunday, we were out and about. We had a really good day. We were out doing our thing, running around. We had dinner that evening.
Morning, car guy.
When we came home, we had a pretty good evening together as well. He was playing right up until bedtime, and then some. I let him stay up a little late. And when I told him to go to bed, he's like, "I love you, Mom."
What did she
love
say?
you,
I let him
puppies."
stay up a little late? Did she just say I let him stay up a little late? I thought his regular bedtime was 9. I want to hear that again. Sorry, guys. I think I got it.
I've never known pain like this before.
And walk me through the events that happened, from Sunday leading up to Monday when you didn't see him that morning.
Sunday, we were out and about. We had a really good day. We were out doing our thing, running around.
Raining in
We
North
had dinner
Carolina.
that evening, and when we came home, we had a pretty good evening together as well. He was playing right up until bedtime, and then some. I let him stay up a little late.
That's a new detail we did not hear. She tells him that she's told us this entire time that he was in bed by 9. And now she's saying she let him stay up a little late. That's different. We never heard that before until this interview, and I don't think we've heard that after this interview. That's interesting. So how late did he stay up? Or was she crafting her story because of the light phenomenon that law enforcement had already questioned her about? And just to give you guys an update, it looks like it's raining in North Carolina. It's raining in some other places. We've got, Hershey, Pennsylvania. MGL lives out there. You should stop by and give her some love and support. You guys might be BFFs. I love Hershey. I went to, I can't remember where she took me to. It was, we had a Hershey's martini. Never had a martini before. Not really a fan of the martini. I was able to drink it, but I'm not a fan of it. Never. I've seen only Kate. So calm. A few more fake it. Riley's mom. So many moms ripped in pieces over. Yes, we see what a mom that lost her child doesn't know what happened to their child, and we see how they display their emotions. And it's not like we're expecting, but you know what? It's too funny that we have Chris and Katie that mimic the same behaviors that, say, Don Wells and Candace Bly had, or the same behaviors that Jacqueline and Trezell West had. These people act almost exactly the same. And people are like, well, people grieve differently. Well, it's kind of funny, guilty parents act the same from one parent to another, and I'm sorry, their behaviors are much resembled by people we know did something. And a great example is Trezell and Jacqueline West, because they were actually prosecuted because they weren't living in Tennessee. Believe it or not, they're in California, and they were able to still prosecute without bodies. And
when I told him to go to bed, he's like, "I love you, Mom. I love you, puppies." And he went to bed. And I went to bed around midnight. Everything seemed fine. And when I went to wake him up for school, that's when I couldn't find him. He wasn't in his room, and he wasn't in the house. And that's when I panicked.
That's when I
When you panicked, what did you do?
First thing I did was call my husband, and I said, he's not here. My husband said, what do you mean he's not here? I said, he's not in the house. And he said, immediately just started, did you check here? Did you check there? Did you look here? And I ran through the house.
One thing I noticed is their hands aren't shaking. So this here is Katie's hand. This is Chris's hand. This right here is Katie's hand, and this is Chris's hand underneath. So you can see Chris's hand, Katie's hand, Chris's hand on top of Katie's hand, and Katie's hand on top of his wrist. And they don't leave any of these, any of his real arm showing. It's all covered. His hands are pretty much covered except the top hand that's on top of hers. But I find it very interesting that she's talking about emotional things, yet she's just, rubbing his arm ever so slightly with this thumb right here. She's rubbing his arm. No shaking, no tremoring, no, you don't see any reaction in their body, the hands, that this is upsetting for them, which is a little concerning.
And at that point, I was hysterical, for lack of a word. And we three-wayed the police. And within minutes they were here. I couldn't tell you exactly how long. I know it was fast. And we haven't found him.
When I got the phone call that he was missing, like she said, we asked questions like, where's he at, check this, check that, and then we called the sheriff's department. And after we called the sheriff's department, I stayed on the phone pretty much most of the time. And then while I was at work, I asked for a relief, got a relief, got in my truck from Memphis and made my way to Nashville.
And that was, I guess, Monday?
The morning that he was missing, yes.
Okay. And so what was your reaction when you got that call from your wife that Sebastian was missing?
Initially, I was like, oh, he's goofing around again. Here we go. He's like hiding. And then when we talked about the places to check and he's not there,
No, there's
like,
not.
stop.
There's no noise.
Instantly. Call the police.
Instantly call the police. Instantly call the police. Remember, we heard this a lot in these earlier interviews of this instantly calling police. And then when we realized that she wakes up at 6, she calls him by 6:03, but they wait some 30 minutes before they ever make a 911 call. It seems to me they were preparing themselves for this call and for their reaction and for their behavior. This is a little concerning because they're telling us from the time that we got the first interview on Dutchess, 3/3, to this is some 11 days after he disappears on August 26th. This was done. Doesn't say a date. I don't have a date on this.
A black and white kind of guy.
It doesn't have a date on this, but we know it was 11 days because she kept saying 11 days, the reporter. So we know this is 11 days after he disappeared. You guys can calculate that and figure out what day this was actually taken on. But again, you've got no major concern from them. They're telling us that he stayed up later than he normally does. That's a first. That's first and last time we've ever heard that. And they're saying that they immediately called law enforcement. And now hindsight's 2020. We know that it took them over 30 minutes from this moment to call him. That's not immediate. I mean, put your timer on right now and set it for 30 minutes. I bet you forget how long it's been until the ringer goes off at 30 minutes. And you're like, oh, crap, that was a long time. Look at all the stuff I was able to do in 30 minutes. Doesn't make sense. Not to me. Black and white kind of guy.
So,
And to your knowledge, he didn't take shoes with him, right? He locked the door on his way out. Or I guess, what are some of the things that you think he did as he left?
We checked for all of his shoes, and none of them are missing. The door was locked.
And what was there some discrepancy as to what he was wearing when he went to bed, or what was he last seen wearing? What was he wearing to bed that night?
When he went to bed, he was wearing black sweatpants with white stripes down the side, and he had on a black long sleeve black shirt with a print on the front. I'm pretty sure it was one of his
like Star Wars or Halloween or
even Minecraft.
yeah.
Those are the three main
it's
things.
the three things that majority is on his clothes.
Yeah.
Laughing.
Yes, his flavors.
Laughing.
And obviously you guys are going through the unimaginable, and then, getting a lot of like the kickback that you've seen on social media. I mean, how much worse has that made it for you two to go through something like this?
Honestly, we stopped looking at it. There's a lot of terrible people in this world, and I don't want to waste energy on any of that. I want the focus on finding our son.
So they want the focus on finding their son. What do they mean by focus? Completely shutting down and not ever bringing his name up again? Is that the kind of focus that they want on their son? I don't understand what type of focus they need to have on their son, because, they're not focusing on their son. They haven't focused on their son for months. Nothing. We've heard squat. We heard Kathy Bowersox come out and say, I have video evidence I never left my driveway. Okay, well then why are you telling us that instead of proving it? Just saying.
Facts are the facts. I mean, the police know the facts, and
So do we.
all I ask of anyone is, if they're able and willing, is to help find him, help spread his flyer, help look for him, call in if you know.
Well, I have helped spread his flyer, Katie. I was out there. You guys took all my flyers down. And as a matter of fact, you had your father-in-law stalk me for over 30 minutes and tried to intimidate me while I was out there. So I'm a little confused about, putting flyers up and stuff like that, because I worked my tail end off to make sure that he was well represented in your community and the lack thereof of representation, and come to find out that all the work that we did was destroyed and demolished by your very hands. So there is that.
Anything or see anything, but we just ask that people focus on finding Sebastian.
And he's never done anything like that before, right? Just kind of walked out of the house.
He's not a runner. This is not normal for him to run away. He's not a runner.
She was about to say
And
something.
any places, I guess, I know you guys have been told to stay in the house, right? Just in case he comes home.
We are doing what we've been asked to do by the law enforcement agencies and everybody involved. I'm not going to divulge anything more than that.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to ask, I guess, next is, if you were to go out and search right now, if people want to help search, what types of places would you guys look at that he could maybe be at?
Anywhere and everywhere. At this point,
It's been 11 days. He could be anywhere.
yeah, they've searched the woods, they've searched parks, they've searched creeks, they've searched, at this point, anything and everything.
Anywhere that he
please
could
search.
be staying out of the weather or getting food, or, I mean, honestly, at this point, he could genuinely be anywhere.
How hopeful are you two that he will come home?
I will never give up hope on finding my child.
Optimism is at its highest, regardless.
Our son is out there. We're going to find him.
With what?
And now just, I mean,
How are you going to find him? You actually got to get up off your ass and go look for him. Excuse my language. Get off your butt and go look for him. They're not even advocating for him right now. They didn't seem like they were too thrilled to do this interview, if you ask me.
publicly, like obviously police are now investigating a landfill. People are speaking out about that. What are your thoughts about that?
Everybody has an opinion and their assumptions, and they are entitled to those. But as I've stated before, all we've asked people to do is to look at the facts.
We are.
Not what everybody's putting out there. If they have questions, call the law enforcement agencies, and they'll give you whatever they can give you. But the assumptions are just that. They are an assumption, your opinions. We pray for everybody, for hopefully this never happens to you. And if it ever does, then you'll understand. But I pray it doesn't.
And they're doing their job. They're looking everywhere they can
She can't even say her boy.
Their goal is the same. We just want to find him.
If you could say something to Sebastian if he's listening.
I'm curious who him is, because it seems like the reporters said Sebastian's name more than Katie and Chris. I'm just now realizing that she's saying Sebastian's name while they can't even call him her son or anything. They just keep calling him.
Right now, what would you say to him?
I would say that we love you and we miss you and we want you to come home. And just know that we all care about you so much.
You're not in trouble.
You're not in
The
trouble.
door's unlocked and waiting for you to come home.
Not in trouble.
Your puppies miss you. Your family misses you.
Oh, what a
I
heartfelt
miss you.
request this is.
Just come home.
Anything else that you two want to add or clear up or anything like that?
Can't even say anything.
Okay.
Just help us find our son.
We're trying. We're trying. We are trying to help you find your son. You are not being
I
cooperative.
told him that, okay?
You are not being cooperative, ma'am. You're not being cooperative at all. So we did have an opportunity to review that particular interview. And as you can see, much like the other ones, they are very cold. They're very callous. They're very nonchalant. They are not appear to be grieving. They don't appear to be begging. They just seem to be, let's just stick our head in the sand and let the investigation go where it goes, If you look at the facts, we are looking at the facts. And the facts are your child's been missing from your home since February 26th. Nobody has seen that boy. You're telling the whole world he walked out the front door. You don't know why he walked out the front door. You didn't see him walk out the front door. Oh, Joanne, thank you. Or Joni, thank you. Welcome to this crazy family. And all the other two that came in, welcome to the crazy family we call the Coffee Club. Don't forget to hit that like button as you're coming in or coming out. We have over 550 people in the chat right now. We have about 157 likes. So let's try to get some of those up. If you'd like to say where you're from and the temperature in your community after you like it, that would be awesome. Chris begs to differ. What does it say, Rodney? Chris begs to differ when asked about him being found. He's confident about hiding him is showing. He is very cocky. He was very cocky when we heard the best part of it is he was unable to leave any evidence behind. It's like everybody caught on to that. And then also, there's another interview out there where she tells, and it might have been this one, and I just may have missed it when we were listening to it. We'll go back. This is not going to be the last time we watch this interview, because she gave additional details in this interview that were different from other details in other interviews. Predominantly, the one glaring thing is that she let him stay up later than she normally does. That's not what she said. She's told us from the very beginning he went to bed at 9 o'clock. He went to bed at 9 o'clock. She fell asleep on the couch around 10. She woke up shortly before, and she was in bed by midnight, obviously asleep by midnight. Midnight has been drilled into every single one of our heads. There's been very standard timing. Everything else is a mystery. But the main thing is that he went to bed at 9. She fell asleep at 10. She woke up shortly before midnight. She went to her bed at midnight and fell asleep at midnight. Pretty interesting how somebody can be asleep, go to bed at midnight and fall right to sleep at midnight. Pretty interesting, but I digress. And then we hear 6 a.m. in the morning. Those are the numbers, okay? And then we hear around 10, this 10 o'clock thing, when she fell asleep, that she actually heard a thud. Okay, now we have a thud. So, which was a thump. It was a thump and then turned into a thud. So it's a constant changing story. But they think because they're keeping the 9, the 10, and the 12, and the 6 a.m. all the same, they think that they're keeping their story straight. But they're forgetting all the minor details in between all those times that is getting all cattywampus and doesn't make sense, because we got her at the very beginning telling a neighbor the day that this is all going on, when the neighbor pulls up in her car asking what's going on, that at 11:30 she was in the kitchen when she heard the thump. And then that changed to 10 or 10:30, and then it became 10. So we're very confused on when this thump happened. Did it happen at 10, or did it happen an hour and a half later at 11:30? But 11:30 was the last time that the neighbor's camera picked up that Sebastian's light went off. And they could clearly see somebody walking through the house, a figure walking through the house to the back of the house toward their bedroom. And I can't remember if they said that light turned on or was turned off. I got to go back and listen to that. I always heard it was turned off, but then there's something told me that the person turned that light on. And then shortly after that light came on, all the lights went out and the house was dark. And then the camera picks up only a figure in the front window appearing to look out. And that was a little problematic. And then several hours later, we have flashlights coming from the back side of their home to a mysterious vehicle. It appears one of those lights get inside the mysterious vehicle while the other light proceeds back to the home. These are problematic situations that are going on in and around the Proudfoot home the night that their son disappeared. And it's even more problematic that we see a flashlight going from that car back to the Proudfoot home when we know only one Proudfoot was in that home the next morning, and that was Katie Proudfoot. Is that circumstantial evidence? Yes, that is. Can they identify who that person was? No, they can't. So, but deductive reasoning, or i.e. common sense, would tell you there was one person in the house and one flashlight that went back to the home. That's pretty damaging, if you ask me. One of the major concerns and key factors that we have going on related to this particular matter is the fact that there's no forensics of this home. There's no forensics of this child's bedroom, and it goes totally against the directive of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It also goes against a lot of the directives out there that identify that in a missing child, you should have forensics done within the first 90 days if that child's not located. And we're past all of those landmark type of deadlines. And most of us that cover these cases are scratching our heads saying, why? And it either has to be one, intentional from law enforcement, they're intentionally not doing forensics, or it's financial. They can't afford to do it. I don't know which it is, but it's definitely not lack of probable cause, because they have probable cause at minimum for that child's room. No matter how you look at this case, whether he walked out the door, ran away, or anything, he was last seen in that room. They have probable cause to do forensics of that room and get those forensics tested. And they have opted and chose not to in such a high profile case, in my opinion, taking their own case, because most of us believe whatever happened to Sebastian would have happened inside that home before he was removed out of that home. Now, there are some people that believe that Katie has sent him to some type of place. Why would they be doing that at 3:30 in the morning when he's expected to go to school the next day? And why would they do that on the heels of the fact that he didn't want to do online schooling or change schools or be away from the people and the peers he was around and then have to go to an inpatient type of program? The good thing is, well, here's the bad thing. In mental health, the only person, the custodial parent, can put a child in a mental health facility without the signature or the knowledge of the other parent. Now, many people believe she may have done this, but again, at 3:30 in the morning, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that all of these light things, these light events are going on inside the home that night too that are suspicious. And what do I mean by suspicious? It's because they don't happen every single night like that. So if things don't typically happen, you see what I'm saying? If you're not doing like the 3-hour conversation, she may talk to her husband every single night, but the reason why he needed to be crystal clear and have transparency is because they talk every single day, but they do not talk for 3 hours. And it's awfully suspect that she calls him, that she's on the phone with him for over 3 hours the night before, calling him at 9:43, pretty late in the evening when somebody has to get up for work the next morning, and get up for work the next morning very early, like Chris would have to do, right? He'd have to get up. I mean, think about it. He's got to be to work by 7, so he has to be to work by 6:30. And you would think that he would be getting up about 5:15 to get showered, dressed, and get in his car. It's still a few minutes away from, about 20 minutes away from his job. So I would think around 5 o'clock in the morning. So why is she calling him at 10 when he doesn't even have, 7 hours to fully sleep and get to work? And if she was on the phone with him until midnight, he's going to work on only 5 hours of sleep? So why did she call him so late in the evening, and why did they stay on the phone for so many hours? That's the question. That's what's out of the ordinary. Do people stay on the phone like that? Yes, I can guarantee that there are people that stay on the phone religiously for several hours at night. I've talked to many people. I've talked to wives of truck drivers, right? I've talked to wives of truck drivers, and they say the only time they can speak to their husbands is at night, and so they sit on the phone for several hours just getting caught up on the day. And that's their only way. So could we apply that to Katie? Yeah, because her husband, even though he's not a truck driver, he's working away from the house. So is it possible or plausible that she would have these long-winded conversations with him? Yes, it is. But because Chris had to be transparent, and because he had to tell us about this phone call, then it tells me that it was not normal and customary that they stayed on the phone that long. Because if it was normal and customary, like the my truck driver wives, right? The only reason why they brought it up is because they just wanted to make sure that people knew that yes, there are guys that stay on the phone for 3 hours and talk to their wives, that it is possible that happens, and they wanted to express their stuff. But because they do it, they're not in here saying, every single day I just got off the phone with my husband after 3 hours. They're not telling us, they're not beating that in our heads every single day that they had this 3-hour conversation with their husbands. Why? Because it's normal and customary. You see what I'm saying? It's normal. Because it's so normal and customary. It's not something that they would think would raise alarm bells, because it's normal and customary. It's not something that they would bring up as a problem. And I feel like that's what we've got when it comes to Katie and Chris. We're going through all these interviews, even though they're not talking now, they've said a lot before, and we are going to capitalize on what they said. We are painting this picture for our audience, because at the end of the day, there's only a couple people, just a few people, a handful of people that could have the ability to do what has been done, whether he's been shipped off somewhere or something more nefarious has happened. Either way, the group of people that could do this is so small, because Chris and Katie don't have friends. They don't have people that come over. They don't have house parties or anything. They don't have any type of, outside of alcohol, it sounds like both of them may be heavy drinkers. But it doesn't sound like they're breaking the law, driving in the car drunk, doing stupid stuff. They don't sound like heathens, okay? So, you have these people that are knowledgeable, that are smart people. Some, Chris has a little bit of a learning curve, but for the most part, smart people. And you've got a missing child in their home. Your natural thoughts would not be the parents. But we can definitely tell that law enforcement had an about-face change within at least 72 hours. Within 72 hours, that's when we saw the state attorney, rearing their ugly head. You don't ever want to see state attorneys out in the public. Usually anything that is going on, they're usually a phone call away in their office. This state attorney physically went out. That's problematic in a non-criminal investigation. It doesn't bode with what typically happens. So that tells me that's a clue. That's a cue. That something majorly happened and law enforcement was on to it fairly early on. We noticed that within day 8, they scaled back their searches significantly. Now, I've looked into the whole scaling back of searches and, what would preempt them, because we still have searches going on for Elijah Vu, the 2-year-old in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Why do they have the ability to continue searching for a little 3-year-old boy out there in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, but we only get 8 days with the law enforcement related to Sebastian Rogers? It's called resources. It's called, moolah, dinero, right? Money. And this is one of the major things that I talk about on here. Oh, hey, Happy, it's nice to see you. Or is it Hopi? Hopi, Hoppy. My hooked on phonics is broken. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. It was the district attorney, not the state attorney. Either way, it's the representative of their community. And you never see, it doesn't matter what their title is. You never see it, okay, unless it's in a criminal investigation. I see them all the time. It was something I missed because I'm so used to seeing district attorneys or state attorneys out there with the criminal investigation. But because I didn't catch that cue, because this was just a missing person child at the time that attorney, the state attorney, the district attorney, whatever attorney, they're under the they are the top dog of the community, okay? And either way you look at it, they don't typically go out to missing person scenes. Just saying. You very rarely, it's very, very rare you see them come out there unless it's a criminal investigation. And then, but it's the 8 days. It's them searching only 8 days and scaling back the searches and not doing any additional searches thereafter. Those are the problematic things. That's what's telling me that maybe their budget is not as robust as they need it. And that's a problem for me. Sebastian was a person with feelings. He needs your love, KP. When did you change, KP? When did you get, when you got with CP? Disgusting. I choose my kids, never a guy to please them. Your son was supposed to be first. Exactly. And that's a problem because we know that the demands of Chris Proudfoot, we know, I've seen pictures when I visited, I had a rare opportunity to look in the past life of Katie. I got to see some photos of her when she was young. She was very tiny. She was just a tiny little thing. Yes, she was. She wasn't the lady she is today. She looked very happy. She didn't look so dead in her eyes. She had bright eyes. She seemed very happy. She seemed very in love. And then it seems like she had a child and went to the Navy. And something happened when she went into the Navy. I think she was away from her family so long, and she found herself in the arms of another person. And that was just very toxic for their family. And obviously, it disrupted their family. So she wanted, I guess she wanted more. And the more she got, the more she wanted. And I think that they, built themselves a very poshy lifestyle. And there was only one weight, the ball and chain around both of them. And I think Chris was he just didn't want to see Sebastian. He didn't want to have to deal with Sebastian Knights. They could have just said they don't want to see him anymore. But Katie would never bring herself to that point. She has always wanted to hurt Seth for whatever reason. That's been notable. You know, we even learned that Chris was kind of the buffer. It was like a breath of fresh air for Seth when Chris kind of started taking over the communications, because it settled a lot of the stuff down, because it sounded like Chris and or Katie and Seth just did not get along. You know, there was a lot of hurt feelings there. And could this be that she just could not acknowledge her failure as a mom, you know, that she just couldn't handle her son anymore and had to give him back to her father? Was that like a major problem for her? It's possible. Hey, Wolf, it's nice to see you. River, it's nice to see you, my love. Is the real me too in here? Oh, there she is. Good morning. Good morning. I remember Seth being asked, is Sebastian the only kid Katie ever had? Seth said, well, at least my kid I have known of makes me wonder about Katie. Well, yeah, well, she did lose. I did hear that she did have some miscarriages before Sebastian. Now, I don't know if there were other things that we don't know about, but I did hear that through the grapevine. And that was before I ever knew who Seth was. Hey, little Miss Sharon, it's nice to see you, my love, from Australia. Well, welcome. It's nice to see you, my love. Smoky Mountain Gal, thanks for you and BTH. I hope you feel blessed this AM. I am. I'm actually going to be going. This is what I'm wearing, but I've got my bathing suit and my beach towel, and I'm going to go for a pool day today. It's time for Delilah to get out and get some energy ran out, and she'll have some dogs to play with. She'll have her little auntie. Her auntie misses her, so she's going to go play with her auntie and some dogs and get some of this energy ran out. And me and my BFF are going to have much needed time together this morning. So it's going to be a nice day. It's going to be a nice day. I can feel it. I can feel it. Steph. Betty, will you be covering other cases? Yeah, we're still covering. Like, I've still got some stuff that I need to drop on Alec Murdaugh. You know, there's not, right now in our news cycle, there's not a whole lot going on out there. So, I mean, the biggest news right now that's taking away from everybody is obviously the attempted assassination of President Donald J. Trump, former President Donald J. Trump, and the current nominee of the Republican Party. You know, that is really taking, because we've had all these, I got to tell you, yesterday I was hot. I was fit to be tied. I thought that committee was, that is everything wrong in politics, what you saw yesterday at that committee. That is everything. The other two committees, I felt like they were united. They truly wanted to find out what was going on with what happened, what led us to this situation out there in Butler, PA. And yesterday, like, there was so much grandstanding and so much discussions on other things that had nothing to do with it. It was a total abysmal failure, in my opinion. I think I think the people that were on that committee that decided to do the grandstanding and stuff like that, they should all be removed from their position. They should not be on that committee. They are toxic for that committee. We're here to learn about the dysfunction that happened that day. And you're talking about other countries, Iran, the threats from them. This was not a overseas threat. This was one that was born and bred right here on our country, on our soil, with one of our Americans. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Iran. I'm sick of hearing about Afghanistan. I'm sick of hearing about all these other countries that have nothing whatsoever to do with what happened outside of possibly, oh, thank you, Miss Lee, mom of 3. God bless you. You know, that's what we're looking for. And they talked about gun control. I'm going to stay on here loud and clear. Criminals, by definition, do not follow our laws. So you put a law in place, guess what? The only people following that law are law-abiding Americans, i.e. the ones that don't take their guns and shoot people. Okay? So you take away all the guns in this country. Let's just take away all the guns. Now what? You're still going to have a people problem. So what are they going to do? They're going to take machetes. They're going to take knives. They're going to take automobiles. They're going to steal dump trucks. Okay? And what are we going to do? Are we going to ban those now? Now we can't have knives in this country? Now we can't use machetes in this country? Now we can't even drive cars in this country based upon that warped sense of what's going on here. We do not have a gun problem in this country. We have a people problem. And until we resolve the people problem, we will be doomed and gloomed with these mass casualties one way or another. They're not addressing the evil that they've created in this country. They've opened up this vacuum of people to be disgruntled and to be able to take their disgruntledness out on innocent people. That's the environment these politicians created, and they started creating it back in 2015. And you're wondering why 10 years later of letting this chaos go unchecked and people going without being held accountable, this is the environment that they intentionally incited. And there's no reason why anybody with common sense wouldn't know that this was where it was leading, especially with all talking heads such as Tucker Carlson specifically stating as such. You see? That's our problem. Taking the guns away is not going to solve the problem. Just like when our state attorney, I think it was their state attorney. I can't remember. Our attorney general, rather. That's it. Our attorney general. When Pam Bondi decided to close all the pill mills, it was the worst thing she could have done because these people were addicts and you just stopped their supply. So all these people that were on pills ended up going to straight H. And we had this huge epidemic of people literally just dying all over the state of Florida. And you know why? Because it was a poor decision that wasn't thought through. It was a poor decision that was not thought through. You cannot take a bunch of addicts and just remove their drugs and think that's going to solve them. That's going to fix them. It was a political move that cost many Floridians their lives. And it was a horrible decision by Pam Bondi. A horrible decision. Oh, thank you, Michelle. One gifted membership for Michelle. Let me go through here and just tell you all thank you. Give me just a second. I gotta remember how to do it. There we go. So I just want to holler out. It's me, Jen, gifted one Bullhorn Betty membership, SPED teacher. Gifted one Bullhorn Betty membership. Thank you, ladies. B Betty fan says, don't forget to thumb up BHB. Please go out there and thumb up. Joni became the newest, Joni, make sure I didn't make a mistake again, became the newest member of the coffee club. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Gifted one Bullhorn Betty membership, The Real Me Too. Thank you so much for that. Miss Lee, mom of 3, says, y'all smash that like button. Show Betty some love. Thank you so much. And lastly, Michelle, thank you for gifting one Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership this morning, please don't forget to tell those folks. Thank you so very much. And God bless everybody that supported this show this morning. God bless you. I do appreciate each and every one of you. You're what makes the Bullhorn Betty channel so special and so great here as we discuss these cases. Again, just want to thank everybody for being here. I'm closing out the show. I love you. Have an amazing day. We'll be back later tonight. I'm probably going to go live later this afternoon, but before Seth goes live. And then we'll do a update after the Seth show is over. Then we'll come back here and we'll kind of recap everything from the show. Hey, love it. It's nice to see you. We're about to close out, though. So I love you guys. I'll see you soon. I'm going to go hopefully get some sun. And hopefully little munchkin that likes to sleep all day. Hopefully she gets some energy out of her. As you can see, she's about as lazy can get right now. She's not even moving. She usually struggles with me, but I just woke her up and she just wants, look at that. Look at that. She got a little outfit on. Say hi, everybody. I love me mommy. My mommy spoils me. She spoils me rotten. Look at her. She's just a tiny little thing. She's just a tiny little thing. She's ready to go back under the covers. She's ready to go back under the covers. She's such a sweet little girl, though. She is. She only bit me a couple times, like, playing, roughhousing. But for the most part, she's an angel. And even when she's not an angel, she's still my angel, right? Oh, there's your Gene Simmons. There's your Gene Simmons. Why didn't you get to show everybody that? All right. Well, let me. This is her and her habitat. That's why I'm in here, because she won't settle down until she's laying right next to me. So it's just easier to do my work with her until she gets older and wants to be a little more independent. But you want to hear something funny? Is she's learning so much. She really is. So I was putting my, like, doing this, and she started doing it, and then I was like putting my hands up, so then she'd stand up on her hind feet and put her hands up like this. It was so cute. And I'm like, oh, you're learning. And now she does a high five. She does a high five. High five. There you go. She's learning. She's trying to be mama's girl. She's so sweet. She's just so sweet. And I get to hug her and love her all day, every single day, with that sweet, beautiful little baby face. So she's the reason why I'm so lazy here lately. She's been taking a lot of my time. So if you want to know why my content has kind of come down a little bit, it's because I've been spending a lot more time with her. You know, she's just a puppy, so she takes a little more care. You got to make sure they're outside. You got to make sure that they get to run around. I took her over and let her play with Emily yesterday, and they ran around the front of Glenn's yard for at least about 20 minutes. So that was fun for her. And she's just a blessing. She's just a blessing. She loves to bite mommy. She loves to play. And then you guys missed it. I put a sock over her head. I will be honest, it was for my enjoyment, okay? It didn't hurt her, okay? It wasn't traumatic, you know, but she did have a little fun with it. I recorded it. It was hilarious. I'm crying because it was so funny for me. And usually I put it right on her snout so she can get it off. And then this one I put over her ears and everything. And she couldn't get the darn thing off. Tell him. I couldn't get, she wouldn't take that thing off. So I finally took it off her head. She couldn't get it off. It was cute. She had fun. But it was funny because I did this with it as she was playing with it, and she started backing up. Oh, she loves the socks. So I gave her some old socks. These aren't my socks. These are Vince's socks. As you can see, these are some big old socks. So I figured I didn't need these socks anymore. She can shoo the crap out of them, right? And she did. See, I did, Mommy. I did. I'm just waking up. Why are you bothering me? Because we got to go. We have play date plans. That's why. That's what she likes to do right there. We have play date plans. And she's cutting teeth. She's been whimpering a lot, but it's because she's cutting teeth, and her teeth, they're hurting her gums. So I put my finger back there and just rub on her gums, you know, just to help her out, because I know that's why she's trying to chew on mine. And you can hear her whimpering and stuff, and I know she's kind of in pain, you know. There's nothing I can do for it, you know. There's nothing I can do for it. So I've been trying to make sure she's got some like little ice cubes in her water that if she wants to, she can chew on to help, you know, with the pain. I got her some teething treats. They actually make treats that are a little hard to help the puppies teeth a little better. So I got her one treat that's kind of a little softer on the outside, but when you get on the inside, it's really hard for her. And so she really loves those treats. She eats them up. She eats them up better than the little milk. I have these little milk bone dog biscuits. These things are like this big. They're so cute. They're so Delilah size. I have to show you them. They're just adorable. I've never thought of actually thinking a milk bone dog biscuit is cute. But these are cute dog biscuits. They're just itty bitty. They're just little minis for her. They're perfect for her. And she likes them. So she has a couple of treats that she just absolutely loves. And a couple of them, there's a few bags that she's just not going to eat. She does not like them. She'll play with them, but she will not eat them. So we're going through, figuring out what she likes to eat and what she doesn't like to eat. I'm going to get her a different bag of puppy. I got her Imes last time. I'm going to see if they have a different flavor and see if she likes a particular flavor. She seems like she's kind of getting old with the bag. It's almost done anyways, so I'm going to try to get her a different flavor. She's been eating it, but she used to eat it a lot more than what she's eating it now, so I think she's just getting tired of eating the same thing. So I might get a couple different bags of dog food so I can switch them out every day so she's not on the same exact stuff. So there's my life in a nutshell. This is me and my girl. We play around. We play in the living room most of the day. And then when I got to come in, I work from the kitchen table or from here, depending on what her mood is. If she's going to let me sit at the kitchen table, we'll sit at the kitchen table and she'll sit in the chair next to me. But if she's too rambunctious, the only way I can settle her down is bring her in here. And she'll lay right next to me and not say a word, So that's why. So, my baby is 3 now. I miss her being a puppy. She's a German. Oh, you got a big dog. Yeah, she's gonna feel like a puppy even when she's full size. Because little Chihuahuas, they don't get big. But I'm learning a lot about them. My neighbor's been sending me some stuff to read. They're really smart dogs. Do you know that Chihuahuas have larger brains than for their body size than most large dogs do? Like, they're very smart dogs. I didn't know that. And so it's cute watching her learn new stuff, I don't know. I'm just a gushing baby puppy mommy. She's so spoiled. She eats just about whatever she wants. Dog food. I don't feed her people food. And she's I don't know, she brightens my day. Chewy is awesome. If you buy something, it doesn't work out, they'll refund you with no questions. Nice. Yeah, I'm looking at some playpens for her. Because I would like to honestly, I would like to set up a playpen for her to be outside a little bit, get some fresh air. I work a lot inside, it's very hard to work outside in the heat, but she likes being outside. She seems to have a lot of fun outside. So we go outside and I go into the backyard and stuff like that with her, and she'll sniff around and play with, sticks and leaves. She loves leaves. She loves the crackle of leaves. And so she'll play with the leaves and the sticks out there. But she just really does enjoy being outside and in fresh air. So I've got a shaded spot out here that if I put her playpen up, about noon or 1, it's in a nice, cool, shaded area where she can sit out there for an hour and just enjoy some fresh air. And I don't have to be standing over her, I can throw some, but she's just a little too young for me to leave her too long by herself. So the most I've left her by herself is about an hour and a half. And I put her in the kennel, and that's literally the longest her and I've been outside of me going to Tennessee when I needed to leave her with my BFF. I'm about to go to Tennessee. It's not going to be for as long. It's only going to be for, I think, 4 days, not a week. And she's probably going to go to my mommy's. My mom wants to watch her. So we'll see how that all works out. But if not, then I know that Laura's grandchildren love her. I just don't want to overtax Laura too much, with the dogs. She's already got 3 dogs of her own. So, but this little butt munchkin isn't really a dog. She's just like a quarter of a dog, She's got huge Jameson. Jameson's like a freaking cow, So I should say like a cow. He's the size of a cow. Okay, he's a great, I don't know what they call him, a Doberman, and he's big, like the sweetest damn dog you've ever met, just a sweetie pie, but he's this huge Doberman, and he's gray. So, and purebred. I don't know what kind, I don't know the breeds, but he's purebred. I know that they spend a lot of money on him. She's teething. Yeah, she's teething. She's teasing on everything, but she's my little sweet pea. She's my little sweet pea. She just likes to chew on everything. But you know what? She's been really good. And I think it's because I'm here. She hasn't, she's chewed on this, while I've been live, and it's dangling in front of her face. But she really hasn't. Outside of getting my slippers, she hasn't really the box out there that holds the second screen, thing. She's destroyed that box. But as far as destroying stuff like cords and electrical cords where I'm having to throw out stuff because the electrical, she hasn't done that yet. But she's right by my side everywhere I go, so I've got a lot of control over her. She doesn't go after it though. And I've got all the stuff like on the both sides of the couch kind of blocked because that's where the cords are in the living room, so she can't get under. But I scared her the other day. And she jumped through all the stuff that I blocked those things, and she jumped right through it. I didn't mean to scare her that bad, but she was biting at my legs, so I scuffled my legs, and I'm like, booga, 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 right? Sorry. And she looked at me, and she started running, and she lost her feet on the laminate, and she slid, and then she finally gets her feet up, and she just bolts to the side of the couch. I was just started busting out. I'm like, I was just teasing you. I'm so sorry. And so she peeks her head out. I'm just sitting there laughing. So she peeks her head out and walks up. And so I just started loving on her, and she started kissing me. I didn't mean to scare her. I was just trying to play with her, but I skidded my feet. And I went booga booga booga, and that's all it took. And that was it. She got scared. Yeah. All right. Well, we need to go get our day started. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's nice to see you. We will see you really soon. I'll be back here this afternoon, reminding you guys tonight at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be Joe Petito on Seth Rogers' page. We're all going to be there supporting Seth, supporting his mission to help other children as well as help try to find his own son. So God bless you. We'll see you soon.